Hello everyone, and welcome to the Navagraha Oracle Yoga and Coaching channel, where we really use mythology to translate modern frameworks, to understand and honor ancient wisdom in order to help us with any current states of being that we might use the goddess energy of the ancients to shift. So today, in episode 5 of the Goddess series, we honor Brigid. Brigid is one of the most honored and remembered Celtic goddesses. She is described in the Lebor Gabála Érenn, the Book of Invasions from the 11th century, which was really a foundational mythology or mythological history of Ireland. Brigid appears as the daughter of the Dagda, one of the most powerful gods of the Tuatha Dé Danann, and she's described as a goddess of poetry, a goddess of healing, a goddess of smithcraft, and a goddess of fire and inspiration. So in the Cormaic's glossary, Sanas Cormaic, from the 9th century, the text explicitly names Brigid as a poetess, the daughter of Dagda. She was the goddess whom poets worshipped. This is one of the clearest historical statements of her divine role. And in the metrical Dindshenchas from the 11th and 12th century, there's a collection of place lore which includes reference to Brigid's sacred sites and her association with healing wells and holy fires. In the hagiographies of Saint Brigid from the 7th to the 11th century, although it later became Christianized and the texts changed, the text preserved her earlier goddess traditions in the perpetual flame at Kildare, healing wells, springtime rituals, and the protection of women and children. So, in the historical worship and practice, as archaeology and ethnography would record, Brigid's worship was local, embodied and seasonal, rooted in fire and water and the returning of light from the seasons. There are fire temples at Kildare. Perpetual flame was tended by 19 women, who then later, as the progression of history became Christian, was replaced by 19 Christian nuns. The flame symbolized inspiration, purification, protection, and the spark of creativity. And the fire was never allowed to go out, a power metaphor for inner vitality. The healing wells, Brigid's wells across Ireland and Scotland, were sites of healing rituals, offerings of coins, cloth, or flowers, prayers for recovery, emotional release, seasonal blessings. So for any of you living in England, Ireland, or Wales, you probably have access to still visit these areas, locations, and wells, and practice honoring Brigid in her traditional way. The water was used for cleansing, renewal, blessing, and emotional soothing. And the Imbolc festival, which took place around the current calendar, February 1st, and it would mark the first signs of spring, lambing season, the return of light, the renewal of life force. The rituals would include lighting candles, visiting wells, blessing homes, weaving Brigid's crosses, invoking healing and creativity. In households, Brigid was honored through hearth rituals, craft work, poetry recitation, healing practices, midwifery, as she was the goddess of daily life, not distant or abstract. She was in the home and in the hearts of every individual. So, where we find potential for a mythological translation of Brigid's historical mythological themes in our modern life might be where she centers on renewal, healing, and creative ignition. The key themes are fire as inner vitality, healing, restoration after depletion, poetry, finding your own voice, and spring, which is not now, but you could remind yourself of it at any spring period. And spring is often an analogy for rebirth. After stagnation, or after quiet, or after death. The modern problem that Brigid can help us solve is burnout. Burnout is characterized by emotional exhaustion, a loss of creativity, feeling disconnected from your purpose, a depletion of energy, or an inability to begin again. Brigid's mythology offers a complete framework for healing from burnout. So, rekindling the inner fire. Reigniting vitality. Brigid's flame at Kildare becomes a metaphor for energy management, nervous system regulation, somatic warmth practices, and relighting inner motivation. The healing wells representing emotional restoration. Her wells become somatic grounding, emotional cleansing, rituals for release, water-based breathwork, and her poetry for reclaiming your voice. Expressive writing, truth-telling, emotional articulation, and creative flow. So, let's see what practice we can work on together to invoke and honor the spirit of Brigid. So, I like the idea of a ritual for Brigid. Brigid Flame Well Ritual. In preparation for Brigid, you will need a candle to create Brigid's flame, a bowl of water, or any kind of vessel of water for Brigid's well, or if you're lucky enough to live by a well or have a fire, you can use that. Paper and charcoal or pencil and a quiet space. Light the flame. Light the candle, light the fire. This represents Brigid's perpetual flame at Kildare, and say aloud, I honor the flame that cannot be extinguished. This flame symbolizes your vitality, your creativity, and your inner spark. Bless the water. Dip your fingers into the bowl of water, which represents Brigid's healing wells, and say, I cleanse what has been depleted. I cleanse what has been depleted. Let the water symbolize emotional release, soothing, and renewal. And as a creative exercise, draw the flame. On your paper, draw a simple flame. Maybe you want to embody it with color. It's your creative experience. Maybe you want to create something that you can look at all the time to remind you of the symbolic inner flame that you can keep on your desk or keep somewhere in your home. Maybe you want to paint it or use anything to kind of really create this symbolic version of the flame. It's a creative act. So inside the flame, write what you want to rekindle, what you want to restore, and what you want to feel again. And this is your inner fire map. Put this in a place where you can see it, in your diary, in a book, at a desk, somewhere where you can constantly refer to your new inner fire map to help you reconnect with that fire. Second, draw the well. Again, be creative, draw it, paint it, use colors, use pencils, use whatever you like. Draw a circle to represent the well, and inside it write what you need to release, what you need to cleanse, what you need to let go. And this will be your emotional cleansing map. And the next step is the Brigid cross. Draw a simple Brigid's cross, the 4 arms meeting at the center. In each arm, write north, what is grounding you? South, what energizes you? East, what inspires you? And this becomes your burnout and recovery compass. Again, be creative. If you dare, create a Brigid's cross. Do a class in silversmith. Create it, draw it, make it out of clay. Do it in any way that feels creative and connected to your process. And in closing, hold your flame drawing and well drawing together and say, I tend to my fire, I cleanse my well, I begin again. Blow out the candle and place the drawings, as I've said, somewhere where you can see them for at least 2 weeks. So today we have honored Brigid, an ancient goddess of the Celts and that region of the world. And we are hoping that this will inspire rekindling of your inner fire, healing burnout, and creativity by connecting with processes that you may not be doing in your everyday life. I hope that this episode finds you well with the energy of the great goddess Brigid. I will see you in the next episode, episode 6, for our goddess series. Blessings in abundance. Be well.